Hi gang, this is Mike G from Mr GTV and MrMikeGarner.com talking to you, making a brew on this historic day, the 21st of January 2025, where we've got the inauguration of Donald Trump for the second time. And what a shit show. I've got to be honest with you, I was very impressed with his speech. But you've got to remember he's got good script writers. And to me, the whole thing's a pantomime, whatever you think. But I've got to be honest with you, it was very optimistic. It was saying all the things that, in my opinion, most people wanted to hear. What I mean by that is, it's talking about old school values and getting rid of all the social engineering. You listen to the speech, you might not be a Trump supporter. I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't believe any politicians who lie on television. But at the end of the day, what do we do with it? Well, we've got to take it at face value because it's what's actually occurring in the reality that we're creating consensually at the moment. What do I mean by that? Well, it means that you, me, we are actually getting what we deserve. And possibly, we'll have to say possibly, we deserve this because we are shifting through the shit that's being thrown at us, and there's lots of shit being thrown at us. And Trump today in his speech promised to clear the swamp. But you've got to understand that he's possibly part of it. But neither Trump, you, me, we, or anybody that you see on TV is real. It's just a dream that we're controlling through consciousness. And that's a massive statement. But if you think about your life, or any aspect of your life, anything that's on your mind at the moment, the fact of the matter is that it's on your mind, it's in your mind. You can't experience anything unless it's in your mind. Because what we think about, we bring about. I'll say that again. What we think about, we bring about. And far more than it just happening in here, we actually project it out there. But I'm not just projecting this myself, and you're not just projecting it yourself, that we're all in this together in what's called a field of energy, an energy field, or a morphogenetic field, or the ether, which is the Wi-Fi that connects us all, and then we project it onto this screen that we see as the world. I mean, even Shakespeare said that the world's a stage and we're all players and characters. Certainly Donald Trump is a massive player. And I wish in this play that he's playing that we had more people who were projecting the idea that they're standing for old school values. But if you look at Donald Trump's history, and even that is spurious in terms of what we think we know, we don't necessarily know, we only know what we're being told. But also history's being manipulated, the stories are manipulated, and the whole thing is just a dream anyway. So what do you do with this? Said a lot already. Let me get the milk. You'll see me in my shorts now. Very sexy, not. Although I'm fascinated in this stuff as a psychologist and just as me, Mike Garner, ultimately there's not a lot we can do with it because it's what we've got, because I'm co-creating. I am the creator, you are the creator, I'm a god, goddess, you're a god, goddess, and we're actually projecting out there this experience which we call reality, our life, the world, the universe, this incarnation. And this incarnation is where it is based on the vibration, what we're putting out there, that the universe is a mirror. But it's not just me playing a part, it's you, me, we. So what we've got to do now with this new president is we've got to support with thought what we agree with, and reject with thought, delete with thought, what we don't agree with. Like if you don't like war, you talk about peace. If you don't want disharmony, You want harmony, you talk about harmony, and you create a harmonious vibration. And then you radiate that and you create a harmonious world. But there's not enough of us. There's quite a lot of people who quite like conflict. They say they don't, but they argue with people, and that in itself is conflict. A little argument, a little turbulence, magnified by the population of the world, projects out there division, and we end up with wars. Because that's the macro is the wars, and the micro is just an argument between you, me, we. And this is why all the time the government who are governing our mentality, etymology, spelling, it's all there for you if you understand the language, are trying to divide us. They're trying to shift consciousness, social engineering, through media manipulation and propaganda, to set us apart. Now, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Conservative, I'm not into Labour or the Liberal Democrats. I'm not even particularly into reform. I'm into personal power. All these people are puppets on a stage, like Shakespeare says, the world's a stage, and we can learn from it that none of it's real, none of it's true. Even the stuff that I wanted to hear Trump say, it's just an illusion for me to go inside and realise that these are players, and the only real thing is me and what I can do with it by projection. That by thinking about what I want to do, I can bring about what I want to experience. And if you, like me, want to have some of the things that Trump was talking about, then we can bring that about. We don't need Trump. We don't need Starmer. We don't need whoever represents you politically in your country. We don't need your government. We don't need anybody governing your mentality. We, you, me, we can govern our own mentality. We don't need these politicians telling us bullshit through the media on television. We need to speak our own truth. We need to come from love from the heart. So watch the screen, watch the news, because that's where you get your views. But then views and news out there are a result of thoughts in here. Create pictures and images in here consistent with the world that you want to see. The world that you want to see comes from you and me. The world that you and me want to see comes from you and me. So today's a good day, really. Donald Trump has been inaugurated, and at the moment he's saying the right things. Actually, his record is pretty good. Last time he was in office, there wasn't many wars. But even the people who are opposing Donald Trump, and those who'll try and oppose him now and stand against him and bring him down, that's conflict. I wish we had more people like Donald Trump in the story of the world. It is just a story, it's all an illusion. I wish that in this illusory world we had somebody who was old school with moral standards. I mean, Trump's purporting to be a Christian. He's bringing God back into the debate. He's challenging some of the social engineering that you, me, we maybe are appalled about in terms of gender and removal of freedom of speech and all sorts of liberties and things that we don't like to see in our country. But again, realise that a lot of the things that we're seeing that we think we don't like, we're being told we don't like, that's dividing us, is divisive. Immigration is divisive. Those people are just people in the oneness. The refugees that you don't want in your country. There's a manipulative agenda to turn us against them because the stories are being manufactured by the mainstream media, controlling the narrative and putting pictures and images in your mind of things that you don't want to see. How do we know any of that is true? Even though I'm fascinated on it, even though I report on it, what I'm actually saying when I report on some of that shit is shift. See it and then send it love. Send it a thought field of positivity, healing. That's my process. Check back for more on that. Just look at the videos where I've said you can send a heart vibration, a thought vibration. It's rather like watching television or watching a film, going to the cinema. You've got the remote control. And if you buy into the horror stories, you're going to see more of the horror stories. But if you buy into the happy channels and the loving, positive, caring, healing channels, you'll get more of that. And that's what I want. And I'm sure that's what you want. So when a politician says something that you want to hear, he's not your saviour. When you're being told that your prophet says something sent by your God, that's just a man. Don't necessarily believe what you're being told they said, because that's manipulation. And I'm a Christian, but I also believe in most of the scriptures, whether it be, Islam, through the Quran and other holy scriptures, Judaism through the Old Testament, Catholicism, paganism, shamanism. They've all got value, but they're all used to manipulate us, when really the only person that's going to save you, me, we, is you, me, we. Nobody's going to come to save us. We have to save ourselves. So today's a good day. Today's a historic day. It's a move in the right direction and possibly an answer to many of our prayers. Although I do believe it's going to be divisive, so watch this space. Check back for more from me, Mike G, for free on Mr. GTV or wherever you're viewing this. I'll talk to you while I'm making a brew and having a brew, and if you need a chat anytime, I'm here for that. Just realise that what we see, or what we're being shown by certain elements within the oneness, is the duality of you and me. That there's always up, down, left, right, male, female, black, white, yes, no. And although you, me, we are like-minded, there's a proportion of you, me, we who are the duality, the complete opposite of what we're trying to achieve. But we've got to create a critical mass. We've got to create a consensus of 33.33% of light workers, loving, positive, kind, powerful, positive people, to overcome the darkness, which is the duality of you and me. And we're connected to that, which is why I point it out in most of my Mr. GTV posts. Some of the hidden history, some of the UFO stuff, some of the political bias that's not so good. Most of the bullshit that goes back not just decades and centuries, thousands of years and millennia, where there's a manipulative, malevolent force in creation trying to turn us to the dark side. And we've got to be love and light, literally, as the cliche says, love and light. Namaste, that the God in me recognises the God in you, not the devil. And God is just the word good with an O missing, and the devil is evil with a D. Turn to God within. Be powerful. Enjoy your mind. And we can overcome any darkness. And it's good today that we've got a politician who at the moment is saying the right things. But we've seen that so many times before, so don't be fooled. You're not foolish. You're brilliant. You're a walking miracle. You're eternal. You're unlimited. And when you apply your mind and create pictures and images in your mind consistent with the world that you want to see, you and me can create it. God bless.